que andes por las ramas, uy, 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 camina trenecito que a Totonilco voy, ya parece que en la estación da brinquitos mi corazón, en este Totonilco de naranjos en flor, parecen sus muchachas angelitos.
Here we got a tri-tip, yeah, it's a pretty big one, you know, over here, right here in Central California, you literally find these ginormous ones just about anywhere. And see, what you want to look for is some good marbling. This is an untrimmed tri-tip right here. Usually you find them nice and trimmed and tidy. See, you got some fat right here, got a little bit around here, and then you even got some hanging out here. I'm just gonna get rid of that real quick. And then we got the fat cap right here. It's still important to keep a good amount of the fat, so I'm just gonna trim it up.
Naranja dulce, limón partido, dame un abrazo, por Dios te pido, si fueren falsos mis juramentos y en algún tiempo te olvidaré.
And here, I'm just scoring the fat right here. This helps the fat render better. It also allows meat penetration, or better seasoning penetration, I'm sorry. When you score fat, this is the fat cap, I'm not going into the meat, you know, I'm barely just cutting into the fat. I don't want to touch the meat. And you know, this is all I'm going to leave on it for now. Tip number one for a tri-tip is, to me, the most vital, and that's marking the grain. Tri-tip is, like many other meats where cutting across the grain is super important, but tri-tip can be really tough. And when you cut it across the grain, you're basically guaranteed tenderness. Basically, to mark the grain, it's pretty simple. It's basically all these muscles running through. And the thing about tri-tip is, it runs this way, and we got some running this way. And one of the little many tricks a lot of, you know, pit masters do out here is they cut this in half to divide two pieces so they can have more even grains. While I do it is I take a picture. I will take a picture, you know, and when it's time to carve the meat, when it's done, I just look at it and I remember what it is. Some people do this is popular in the restaurants, is they will literally cut a piece off that indicates where the grain starts. And I'm not going to do that today because I don't really need to do that, but that's one way to do it. Alright, we just came back in from trimming this up, and we're gonna put our rub on. And here I got my rub. I'll put a link right now to a video I made describing how to make it, and it's usually it's one of my like all-purpose rubs, really. I mean, especially for beef. And the only difference how we're gonna do this in this video is I add a little turbinado sugar in it, which is just raw sugar. I make my own rubs, you know. I rarely use the stuff in the store. And I'm a big spice addict, so you won't really see a lot of the store-bought rubs from me. Okay, now this is how I like to season tri-tip. There's many ways, you know. Tri-tip can be marinated, it can be, you know, simple. You can do the classic, you know. Here in California, a lot of people love garlic. There's actually a ton of garlic in that, and it's usually just really garlicky and peppery, some herbs, parsley mostly. And here, you know, I like to do it differently, and this is how I usually do it. I just, you know, get generous with the Worcestershire, and this just kind of acts like a binder, but it also flavors the meat. You know, makes the rub kind of become a bit of a paste. You know, and Worcestershire sauce is just. And I have this right next to my salt and pepper. So now I'm just applying it right here.
This is a highly complex task requiring engineers whose abilities cover many disciplines.
All right, now when you know, tri-tip benefits from a process known as dry brining, which allows the salt to get in there and season it throughout. So, you know, this rub has salt, and we're just gonna let this sit in the fridge for almost overnight. You know, minimal, maybe like 2 hours, 4 hours. You know, so yeah. And then we're gonna get this guy on the grill, and we're gonna, you know, grill this using the reverse sear technique. All right. So tip 2: We're gonna be doing the reverse searing now. We're gonna put the tri-tip on the fire. I already have the grill going. So I got my wood combusting a little. That's a good thing. Don't worry, everyone thinks it's got to completely smolder. But you'll be alright. I have the thickest part facing the fire. Lid on. Nice and tight. And we're gonna let that cook for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. We're gonna wait till it gets to a medium rare. We're gonna, check the temperature eventually, and we're gonna do some hot searing once it's ready to come off. All right, so we're doing the reverse searing part now. We just cooked it low and slow for a minute, gave it some good smoke flavor. I put some apple and a little bit of mesquite in there, and now we're just charring it up. We took it off. I cranked up the heat, and here we're just browning it up now to a nice, good medium rare tender. Easy though. Reverse searing. It's basically traditionally people, when you cook large roasts, tri-tip particularly, you would brown it up right here on the hot spot, and then you move it right here to the cooler spot. Reverse searing, you do it the opposite. You start it a bit more on a cooler spot, and then you finish it nice and hot. Look at that. See all the fat rendered? Look at that. That's good. Getting there. So if I pull this off right now, let it rest for about maybe like 5 minutes, we'll be at probably the rarest of medium rare. Alright, about done. Ready to come off the fire. It's looking beautiful and it's smelling amazing right here. I had it resting in here for a minute when we did the reverse searing. We're going to take this inside, we're going to carve this across the grain. You see right there? Little lines? That's the grain, we're going to have to cut across that. To get this guy nice and tender and just amazing. We'll make some sandwiches. This is motherfucker. California barbecue right here, man. Alright, so we're going to carve this bad boy up right here. Once again, we're looking for that grain. So you tri-tip. It's got a little funny one. This one's going this way, and this one's going that way. So I'm gonna make things even. I'm sorry. Now, in some cases, the grain's a little difficult to see. I took a picture right here. I know the phone's fucked up. I dropped it, and this helped me out before I put it on the grill to help to find the grain. You know, so a nice little tip for you right there. That, huh? I follow the same rules as brisket. You know, brisket, it's known to have like a number 2 pencil thickness, and that's what I go for with tri-tip. And of course, this is perfect for sandwiches. You know, tri-tip feeds a lot of people, and it never fails to be amazing each time I cut it. It smells amazing. Alright, tip 3 is my favorite part. See all this juice this thing releases right here? Just run a brush. Just get them all covered. You know? And if you have a barbecue sauce, you can pour some of that in your sauce, mix it, and just glaze your slices. Like that. You know, tri-tip's one of those things that really does not need a sauce. But, you know, a lot of people, you know, over here in California, they still love having tri-tip with some barbecue sauce. And so, you know, this is its own little sauce to me. So, yeah, so there you have it, man. Got some damn good tri-tip right here. Enjoy.
No te andes por las ramas, uy, 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 camina trenes.